beautiful people, friends and family. A warm welcome to you all. I hope you are well and having a fantastic day. Today, we're making a Ghanaian classic known as Nkatebe, which features two popular soups. The Nkatebe part is the groundnut or peanut butter part, and then the be part is the palm nut part. They come together and create this hearty, deeply tasty soup. Now, this soup is ideally served on a weekend with family and friends over wholesome, lovely conversation. We're going to serve our Nkatebe today with soft rice balls, a side of black-eyed beans, also cooked really flavorfully, and also some spinach. It's going to be deeply tasty because we're going to build flavors in brilliant layers. Can't wait to start. Let's wash our hands so we can begin. All right, friends, so first thing we're going to do is prepare our marinade, which is going to go over our meat of choice today, a combination of smoked turkey and fresh turkey wings. For our marinade, we have ginger sliced against the direction of the strand so it blends smoothly, 1 large onion, garlic paste, a 1/4 teaspoon of aniseed, a 1/4 teaspoon of coriander seeds, homemade all-purpose seasoning, which resembles your bouillons. You can use chicken bouillon, 1 habanero chili for heat, 2 heaping tablespoons full of my homemade tomato paste, salt to taste, crushed black pepper. I'm going to use 1/2 teaspoon. A 1/4 cup of water. Our marinade is ready, and I'm going to pour most of it onto our turkey. And the rest of it I will add to the beans, which I have placed 2 pieces of smoked turkey in there because I want the beans to also have that smoked turkey essence. So just a little bit of the marinade to give it more flavor. I've rinsed the blender with another cup of water because the turkey needs moisture to cook tenderly. And our herb of choice today is bay leaf, and I have 5 very small ones. We're ready to cook the turkey. So, beautiful people, our turkey is cooking and building up on its flavors. So now it is time to work on our groundnut or roasted peanut component of this soup. For that, I have 1 cup of roasted peanuts. You can substitute the roasted peanuts with 1/2 cup of roasted peanut butter. I also have a large onion and 3 Roma tomatoes. Add 2 cups of water.
And this peanut mixture must be blended till silky smooth. You do not want any texture at all in this mixture. And then you want to rinse your blender with 1/2 cup of water, and then you're going to stir this mixture together until it is nice and smooth. And we're going to cook it on the stove on very low heat setting for the next 15 minutes, stirring periodically. At some point, we will cover it when it starts to splatter. And friends, our turkey has been cooking for the past 15 minutes, so it is a good time to go in now and give it a stir. it is not all the way cooked through, and that's exactly what we want because we still have a lot of cooking to do. We have other components to add, so we do not want the turkey to be overcooked at this point. We want it to stay on the bone. We do not want the flesh to fall off the bone. We need it to have texture. And you want to check on your peanut mixture simultaneously. Give it a stir, make sure the bottom is not burning. And the way to prevent that from happening is cook constantly on the lowest heat setting.
Friends, here is our palm nut cream, which is available also on Amazon.com or your local Ghanaian or African grocery store. So this is the palm nut component of this soup. What we're going to do is dissolve it with some hot water and strain it into our turkey, which is done tenderizing.
Now, the amount of hot water added to the palm nut paste is solely dependent on how thick or thin you want your soup to be. I am going for a thicker consistency today because we are serving it with rice balls. Now, if you were serving it with fufu, then you'd want it to be thinner comparatively. So you get to decide at this point what you want to do. So keep that in mind. Now you want to strain this because sometimes it does have some residue in there that you may not want in your soup. So it's a good idea to strain it. Optional ingredient known as prekese in Ghana to the Akan people. Its English name is Aidan fruit. It's available online on Amazon.com depending on what part of the world you are living, and also in your local Ghanaian or African stores. It imparts a sweet aroma and a tangy sweet taste to the soup, and it has a multitude of medical benefits. It's known to manage many chronic illnesses. So look it up, but it's a really good ingredient to have in there if you have access to it. First thing we're going to do is give it a few whacks. We want to crack it because the aroma and the taste is embedded within the actual fruit, and as you can tell, it has a really hardened layer because it's dry, bone dry. Then after doing that, we're going to roast it on open flame until you begin to smell that sweet, tangy aroma before we place it into the soup. Flame roasting of the prekese did not last me more than a minute. You do not want to burn it, especially if it's open flame roasting, all right? Because if you burn it, then it will kind of alter the taste and the aroma of it. And we don't want that. So as I inserted it into the soup, I noticed that there was a piece of turkey in there that was kind of temperamental and not allowing me to insert this prekese in there. Turkey pieces. All right, so that goes in there. You want to check on your peanut mixture, which has now been cooking for 10 minutes and it's starting to splatter, so place the lid on it. All right, multitasking. So we have our beans still cooking. It's been 25 minutes of the beans cooking, and it has been cooking on the lowest heat setting. So the water we use it to cook with is actually now reduced about halfway. What we want is the beans to be soft, to where you can actually crush it between your index finger and your thumb. There, just like that. Perfect. We don't want the beans to get mushy. We want it to stay like this. Now, the pieces of smoked turkey can be removed and added to the soup. They have actually lended their flavor and aroma to the beans, and that's all we wanted, all right? So now we also want to taste and add our seasoning if necessary. And as I tasted, it wasn't properly seasoned, so I added some salt and crushed black pepper. Stir it and your beans is done. We cooked on low heat throughout with the lid on. It helps to really soak your beans 2 hours at least prior to cooking it. And checking on our peanut mixture, it is perfect because the oil in it has surfaced, and that's what we want. So now we're going to pour it in. That has been cooking for the past 20 minutes. Perfect. So add it now to the soup and stir it to combine, and we are almost done cooking our peanut butter and palm nut soup known as Nkatebe in Ghana. This soup is delicious and it is also rich. Look at all the fat that has settled on the top. We're going to skim that off. So yes, we'll skim it all off and then we'll store it in the fridge or freezer, because let me tell you, this oil is useful and it's flavorful. So yeah, we will use it for egusi stew in the future, or kontomire stew, spinach stew, whatever spice palm oil calls for. Now we're preparing our rice. This is 2 cups of jasmine rice and I have washed it only once. Once because I do not need this rice to cook fluffy. I needed to cook sticky. So if you have the sticky version of jasmine rice, you can use it for this purpose. All right, now I have added 6 cups of water to it to begin with, and I have also seasoned it with salt to taste. On the stove it goes on low heat and cook until the rice is mushy.
All right, beautiful people. So our soup is completely done cooking. After we added our groundnut mixture, we cooked for a further 35 minutes. And we've turned the stove completely off. We're going to skim off the fat. So total time for cooking the soup was 1 hour and 5 minutes.
The oil cool all the way down, especially if you're going to keep the oil in a plastic container before you store it in your fridge or freezer. The oil will come in really handy, you'll see. Now the soup is perfectly thick. That is the consistency I am going for because I'm serving it with the rice ball. So that's done, taking off of the range. Let's cook our spinach. This is just baby spinach. I've given it a rough chop, and yes, I am adding some of the soup to it so it has a similar taste. And all I'm going to do is cover it and cook for about just 5 minutes, because we do not want to destroy the nutrients that it's loaded with. And checking on the rice that is done cooking, and can you hear that it's moist and mushy? Yes, you can hear that it's moist, and see how soft it is. So it'll be really good and easy to mash this up, and that's the next step. So after 5 minutes, our spinach is done cooking. Taste, we need salt and crushed black pepper. So a little salt will go a long way here. We don't need to over season it, but we want it to be seasoned so it tastes like what it is. Perfect, that's done. Stir it to combine, and done. Voila. So now let's move on to mashing the rice. Right, so moving right along. In Ghana, we call mashed rice Omotuo, something that people would line up for, especially on the weekends. And when people are eating this dish, man, there's a lot of laughter because it's food that makes you happy. It's comfort food, ideal comfort food. Now I'm using a technique used or taught by Cooking with Gifty, one of my Ghanaian YouTube sisters. I have linked that video below. You must check it out. Now today I cooked a lot, so I really didn't have time to stand by the stove and continually mash the rice manually. And so I decided to employ Gifty's genius idea and put my stand mixer to use. And as you can see, evidenced by how soft this mashed rice turned out, and I didn't even have to do much work. Yes, so thank you so much, sis. You are a genius indeed. I have linked that video below if you'd like to check it out. Now here is all the food. The spread is ready. It is chop time, and over here in Anaba's kitchen, chop time is definitely yes, friends. So pull up a chair. because we are all friends here. Take a look, a really good look at this plate. Mouth watering is an understatement. I hope you get to try and put this piece together and treat your family to it. They will really appreciate you. I hope you enjoyed yourselves today and learned a thing or two. Please leave me a like. Also, share this video. If you're not subscribed yet, kindly subscribe and turn your notifications on and click on all so you don't miss anything at all I share here. I hope you enjoyed yourself. Thank you so much for joining us here in Anaba's Kitchen today. Hope to see you pretty soon on my next one. Make it a great day, y'all, and have fun, especially in that kitchen.